Welcome to ChukkerTV. I'm Dale Schwetz with Jan Edik Frank, and we are live from the Grand Champions Polo Club Field number 1 for the finals of the Wellington Open. Jan, this is going to be a fun one.
It's going to be a very big fun one. Yes, indeed. Also for me, a very good morning. Great to have you with me once again, Dale. This final promises to be a really fun, action-packed final. We've got father versus son, or son versus father. Both of these boys, of course, the Cobra, Mark Ganzi and Grant Ganzi, remember, who had a little bit of a tumble, but he's back in the saddle again, and I'm sure he's going to want to prove a point. Now, both of these teams had a cracking game. Now, of course, Richard Mille, our new member of the WPL, they had a thrilling semi-final, taking care of J5 La Dolfina, beating them in overtime. It was a nail-biting final, a semi-final, probably one of the most exciting games we've seen so far. But Casablanca, remember, of course, defending champions, didn't get off to the best start in this tournament. They came back strong, took care of business when they took care of Alegria, beating them 13 goals to 6, and that was a convincing win. And I'm pretty sure, knowing Grant, he wants to prove a point, especially against his old man.
You got it. So you know Lario Jo, of course, he's going to be playing here for Juan Martinero. And in that first game, it was a little difficult because he came in. They weren't really organized at that time, so you couldn't give him a perfect jump out of the box. But let's talk about the two teams here as they are warming up out there. As we looks like we got our Richard Mille, of course, with going to be Mark Ganzi, who played the number 1. Camilo Castanola playing the number 2. His brother Barto Castanola. And then, of course, we're going to have Pablo McDonough, wearing the number 4, the ambassador of Richard Mille. What a great job this guy's done, winning the snow polo this year in Aspen, Colorado, looking for a big win here. Tell us a little bit about the Casablanca team.
Well, Casablanca, as I said, of course, the two young cracks, Grant Ganzi and, of course, Juancito Bellini. Remember, they were champions and are still defending champions until this afternoon, of course, at 4 o'clock, where we will have the final of the Founders Cup. Hilario Ulloa, as Dale was just saying, coming in for the injured Juan Martinero, and we saw him at the draw for the next tournament, which, of course, is starting next week, the Palm Beach Open. And we're hoping, of course, very much that we'll see him back in the saddle again. And then, of course, one of the best 9-goalers on planet Earth, Rodrigo Andrade. And I'm sure these boys are going to want to prove a point. But you were just talking about Pablo McDonough. Remember, follow. Obviously, also today on Finals Day on all the social media, we have a foot mallet, a one-of-a-kind, limited edition, signed foot mallet to be won. And, of course, we will announce that winner throughout the final this afternoon. A lot of polo coming to you here today from Grand Champions. We're about to start with the players now on the field. We're going to have to make a little space here for the players. And then, of course, as I said, this afternoon, 4 o'clock, we will have the big final. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I can now ask you, please, as I call out the names, to welcome the two finalists here, the two teams. We're going to start from left to right. Defending champions still, ladies and gentlemen, in the dark shirts here, Team Casablanca. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands together for the one and only, at number 1, the one and only Grant Ganzi. At number 2, his brother-in-arms, Juancito Bellini, playing off 4 goals. And there is the 10-goal, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning to Hilario Ulloa. And as we were just saying, the 9-goal of the one and only Rodrigo Andrade. Today in the white shirts. And there is the other Ganzi, the Cobra. Give it up for Mr. Mark Ganzi, playing the number 1 off 2 goals. And then we have one of the two brothers, Camilo Castanola, playing off 7 goals at number 2. And the man who is kindly donating that foot mallet, the 10-goaler, give it up for Pablo McDonough, ladies and gentlemen. And the other, Castanola Barto, playing the number 4 position, also of 7 goals. Our two mounted umpires this morning are Gaston Dorignac alongside Martin Aguirre, and our third man, Esteban Ferrari. As I say, the third man, and of course, in the studio, as always, our instant replay official, the one and only Mr. Steve Lane.
You got it. So we will be using the replay, of course. Each team will have one challenge per game, where, of course, they have 15 seconds to challenge a call after the umpires on the field recite what the call was. And then if so, they'll throw that into our instant replay official, and he'll give us his views. On the far side to start this one off, get behind your teams. Casablanca in the black, and, of course, Richard Mille in the white jerseys. I like this little change here with the Richard Mille team, putting Barto at the number 4 position, because the last game I did with you, Jan, he was actually at the number 3, and Pablo McDonough, the ambassador of Richard Mill was at the number 4, so I put him at the number 3. Let's see how it goes. On the first bowl-in, going to be picked up and taken inside by Ulloa. Hilario's going to bounce one off the pony there. Loose ball play. Stolen away, taken forward by Casanova. Barto leaves it behind. Andrade will turn the corner very quickly and get the black shirts moving forward. Rodrigo, there's the outlet pass, and he's got Bellini. And look at this, Ulloa in the rumble seat. Bellini inside the 60. The approach shot, the first run of the day. And Casablanca is going to bust one loose here with 6:25 on the clock, adding to this 2-goal handicap. Remember, a 25-goal team, they get 1 goal in handicap. World Polo League adds another, and this is the way you start off, Jan. When you have the 2-goal lead, we saw it with ST Farms, jump out quick.
Quite right, Dale, and no surprise to see Casablanca wanting to get off to a cracking start and make their mark, and they did so. And a nice little goal, the opener there of this Wellington Open final, brought to you there just a few moments ago by Juancito Bellini. Ball's back in play, and this time it is Richard Mill who get the upper hand of that throw-in. A lot of space being given. There's the drive. It's a low ball. He's looking for possibly Barto Castagnoli. Didn't quite get through. Ganzi at the front door, and a very quick turnaround and a pick up here again from Casablanca. But short-lived, as once again a shot on goal, and it's a long-distance shot. Is he going to go through? He is. So that's the answer coming right back at you here. Richard Mill not wasting any time. And I'm just going to wait for that play to turn his shoulder so I can see if it's... It was the number 3. Thank you. It's Pablo McDonough there, the 10-goaler with the number 3, getting off to a cracking start, the first for Richard Mill. And as you were saying, Dale, it will make such a lot of difference, of course, coming in with a Tittle 2-goal advantage into this final. And I'm pretty sure Casablanca will want to capitalise on that. Once again, they've won the throw, and it's the number 4, Andrade, on the far side. Little under the next shot there from Ulloa. Ball is, I think, no longer in play. We've had a whistle on that play. So a quick hit from the spot for Casablanca. Ball went over the sideboard, so an automatic, what we call a hit from the spot, a little penalty 5A. Andrade immediately being shut down there by Richard Mill, who once again have possession and turn it around. And I think Camilo already read that play. He knew it was coming, and here it is. Camilo having a little insight there to where that play was going to go. He read it well. Little open backhand from brother Barto. Nice pick up. McDonough. Ganzi in the thick of it as well. But Casablanca do well. Back in the fence, steal it. Do not want to let those 2 7-goalers, Camilo and Barto, get too much of a space. Casablanca. Andrade. Ulloa, beg your pardon, Hilario Ulloa drives it up, and he's found Andrade, and he's on a flyer. Rodrigo Andrade, and looks like the number 4 there, Barto Castagnoli, was being a little bit naughty coming across that line. Didn't really see that play coming, did he, Dale?
That's the way you push it, though, as Rodrigo Andrade is going to close the window, slam the door, and follow that right away. Barto Castagnoli coming from left to right there, trying to steal it away. And, well, in most leagues you might be able to get away. But what a play here by Andrade, dropping the hammer on the Bay Pony. Now, remember, we are not using the courtesy change here for the rest of the season, as we only use that in our All-Star Challenge, prepare the teams and the horses. Now all players will have to choose their moments to change the 4-legged athlete. And, of course, comes a huge part of the game. And we've seen a lot of changing going on. Of course, top 4-legged athletes in the world here at the World Polo League, WPL. What a successful season it's been. And I can tell you, Jan, a couple of these games that I've had the opportunity to sit in with you have just been amazing, as they're going to walk up here on the open goal penalty 2. And it looks like Juancito Bellini, the 4-goaler, handling the stick to that. Love how they give the confidence to this young player. And on that open goal penalty 2, it's going to push them 4-1 here as we click down halfway through this first Chucker play.
Yeah, no signs of letting up at all, of course, Casablanca. And I'm pretty sure that Grant Ganzi, Juancito Bellini, Hilario Ulloa, of course, Juan Martinero, stepping in, of course, and helping to coach these boys. But once again, Richard Mill winning the throw-in. And it is The number 3, Pablo McDonough, looking for his second goal. There's the cut shot, and he makes no mistake. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Opened his shoulders there. Goal number 2, and it's nice to see that Pablo McDonough, the 10-goaler, scoring twice, and Juancito Bellini having scored twice. So let's see if they mix it up a little bit here.
Yeah, you got it. But, Pablo, it's so fun to watch him play. As he said, he won his back-to-back tournament in snow polo here for Richard Mille. They've done a fabulous job up at the Aspen Valley Polo Club during the World Snow Polo Championships. Richard Mille winning back-to-back in 18 and 19, actually, 2018, 2019. Looking for their three-peat this next year here, 2020. So we'll see if they can get it done. As we get a bowl in here, and then, a little issue here is looks like Pablo is going to jump off, and that could be trouble. You got to watch out here when the 10-goaler. He's bending down, so I'm sure the medics will come out and take a look at him. Yeah, here they come. So we'll take a little time out here, Yan, and with 2:18 on the clock, well, keeping it right there, Richard Mille, because we've watched this happen. It's a couple of the teams have received that 2-goal handicap based on the extra goal that you get in the World Polo League. And those teams have opened it up very early. SD Farms has done it. Scone has done it. They've all jumped out to like a 5 or 6 goal lead early. So I like what Richard Mille is doing here by getting 2, keeping it in check.
Yeah, but of course that puts the pressure on Casablanca, and they'll be looking very quickly to get the equaliser. So far, it's a very, very even game here. Really, those 2 goals don't really mean much at the moment because I think it's very balanced. Above all, it's very, very fair. And as I said, Casablanca will be looking to very quickly, or rather, Richard Mille will be looking very quickly to get the equaliser. But at the moment, Casablanca doing everything that their coach has told them to, staying in control here, still holding on to that 2-goal cushion. As we now go back to the field, and it looks like Pablo McDonough, he got the once over from the medics, and they seem to have given him the all clear. I can see 4 white shirts, so good to see the 10-goaler, which of course would have been detrimental to the team, back in the saddle again. I didn't actually see what happened. I just saw him come off the saddle, so let's hope he's not suffered too much of a severe injury. They're going to have a throw-in more or less on the halfway line. And as you were saying, 2:18 left to play. It's 4-2, and a very good morning to you if you've just joined us, of course, on ChukkerTV.
On the far side, what they call the injury timeout, of course, it was a bowl-in from the boards to the center. They'll bring it from the center to the boards, and it's been even Steven here. Now Casablanca will get one more on the bowl-in. Taking it forward, picked up there by Casanola, hook inside, and backed up by Casanola, and a whistle on the play. And we might get a cross hook over on the far side. As look at Bartol Casanova is coming from left to right, try to grab a hold of that mallet of Bellini. And he had Ulloa downfield, so that's going to help out. They're going to move the ball down here. We're going to get an open goal penalty shot in favor of Casablanca with 2:04 on the clock.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that. A chance, which I'm sure they will not leave open. Anything now to stay slightly ahead and possibly even extend the lead that they got coming into this game. A little bit of a discussion going on there with one of the umpires. Casablanca, all 4 players wanting to hear exactly what the umpire has to say. Also, Ganzi, this time Ganzi Senior, wanting to probably have a definition of why this ball's been moved forward. Well, of course, we are delighted that we have these strong, and they were also here last year, the 4 Musketeers, WPL umpires, who so far have been doing a great job. Now, it might even turn out that they might even be going and using their challenge. And we spoke about challenges there. Of course, no challenges allowed. No horse changes allowed. And in the WPL, 1 challenge per team per game. If they win their challenge, they hold on to that challenge. But if they lose the challenge, of course, it's game over. No more challenges. And you were saying, and rightly so, the other day, pick your time when to make that challenge because it's only early. We're still in the first chukker, and might be a wasted opportunity because I'm sure there will be other situations a little bit later on when that challenge could be much more beneficial than so early on in the game.
I agree with you there, Rianne. You need the save the challenge. Risk-reward matrix does not work for the first half, especially with only 1. Now, if you have 2 challenges, like some leagues do, and they will give 1 per half, well, there you go, but I still like to save them. This would not be a bad one if you had two, just because you are trying to save an open goal penalty too. But in which case, it'll be Bellini doing the honors here for Casablanca.
Nice, calm walk up to the goal. And goal number 3, a hat-trick for Juancito Bellini. And I'm sure the rest of the boys will be happy with that. But speaking of those challenges, of course, at the draw for the Palm Beach Open, which is due to start next week, the WPL commissioner and the officials have decided to allow one challenge per half, which of course gives a little bit more of an ease to both teams when they're out there, knowing that if they lose a challenge, they do possibly have a second one to contend with. Here we go, then ball's back in play, and that's a nice pass looking for Barto Castagnola. Castagnola immediately has Bellini, who scored just a few moments ago. All 3/4 of that Casablanca team now wanting to take out one of the very, very, very strong two brothers, both, of course, playing off 7 goals. Castagnola comebacks out to the number 3. Pablo McDonough, he's already scored twice. Ganzi tried to pick that one up immediately. Richard Mir with Barto Castagnola putting his stick down, trying to cause a little bit of damage, but Casablanca weaving their way out of this little sticky situation. Good backing up. And there's the drive. I was about to say it's going to go over the halfway line, but he was looking for his number 4. Andrade. Ujor will come in to lend a helping hand. Still Andrade. Gets a little bit of space. You might have heard the first horn on the far side, so a little less than 30 seconds to play. Here comes an attempt on goal, and under the next shot, not easy to take. Beg your pardon. McDonough sends it back. Nearly found Castagnola, but they are really fighting hard. A cut shot to goal from the number 3, who puts it wide, and that'll be all she wrote. End of the first chucker, ladies and gentlemen. 5 goals to 2. A little round of applause, if you will. We're going to give the boys a chance to get on a fresh set of legs and leave you with these messages brought to you, of course, by ChukkerTV. Stay tuned for chucker number 2 coming right up.
Hilario Ulloa, Casablanca. I think it's amazing the level of polo, having still 26 goals. I think it's the only place in the world except Argentina now that they play 26 goal polo, so it's great to have that level, to have the quality of players, and having 10 teams, it's a fun tournament to play. You have to be extremely well organized as a team with horses. There are really good organizations such as Valiente, the Ganzi family. I mean, many good teams which been doing a really good job for many years. So you need really good horses and to be very well prepared to win those games. What I love about Florida is the weather and that you have everything so close. You live close to the barn, from the beach, from places to go shopping. You can play practice, go watch games, visit friends. I love that everything it's in the same place, so you can go and watch so much polo. I mean, it wasn't nice at the beginning to feel for him because you never wish someone to get injured, so it's not the best way to come into a team, but I mean, they needed a replacement, so I was really happy to play for this team, for this organization. So I had to know the horses a bit at the beginning and understand the way the team was playing before, not to make big changes, but I think we're getting better and better after a couple of games. I'm Hilario Ulloa, and you're watching ChukkerTV.
Okay, welcome back as we get ready for our second Chucker Play. Now, Janners and I were just talking, and they did challenge the ball placement. And risk-reward matrix says, Not a good one. Because you got a 10-goaler downfield. And remember, this is the WPL, the World Polo League. It's so fast, this 26-goal polo, that umpires are going to move the ball. They're always going to move the ball in extra spots, especially when you have a team attacking. And we've seen that, yeah. We talk a lot about it. If there's any fouls that are within 10 yards or 20 yards of center field, everything's getting moved to a 60. So you know from that point on, if you have a man downfield, especially a 10-goaler, you got to move that to a 2. Now, the hindsight on it, even if they won the challenge, it would have got moved back to a penalty 3 because they didn't challenge the foul. And we'll walk over. You can tell me what you think about that.
Yeah, I'm exactly on the same page with you there, Dale. The players are coming back out. From a strategy point of view, I would have probably saved a call like that, especially when you're going to think about what there is to win, what there is to gain. On that occasion, not as much as you might have thought. Had it been in the 5th or 6th chukker and it was, let's say, even Stevens, I would have understood that play. But let's go and have a look at the way they played so far in this opening chukker. Casablanca, very, very hungry. Juancito Bellini, the 4-goaler, scoring 3 times. McDonough, the only other player to having scored on by Richard Mille, scoring twice. So Casablanca, from the word go, keeping that pressure on. And it's great to see how this team Casablanca have found themselves again throughout this tournament. And I think it's great to see that they're in this final of the Wellington Open. And I think, Dale, obviously with a 10-goal on either side, this is going to be another one of those games that's going to go all the way down to the wire.
All right, so as they take it in, it's been controlled here by Casablanca. It's going to be Andrade wearing the number 4 in the black helmet. He's going to shoot one with not much angle. I love the lofted shot, though, by Andrade. But that ball's going to go just wide to the right. And Richard Mille will regroup with now, remember, we start out with a 2-goal handicap. And the Casablanca team gaining that extra goal on 3 goals now. On the lead, it'll be picked up here by Casanola, and Barto's going to crush one over, as it'll be Pablo McDonough to run on this one. Of course, Andrade, I love it, Pablo. What a cool play as McDonough uses the boards like a 5th man. It bounces down, though. He takes his eyes off of Andrade, the give and go from the 10-goaler. Ulloa finds Andrade, but a brilliant play by Barto Casanola to steal it away and turn it around here for Richard Mille. Now, center field. Turn it back inside by Ulloa. Take it forward. Good control here, looking for Bellini. A big shot here by Ulloa. That ball going to travel over the end line. But again, some great plays by both teams on the offensive and defensive side as we click down here around 5 minutes.
Yeah, really nothing giving at all. Nice, open, fast-paced polo. Clock seems to have had a little bit of a blip in the system. I'm sure our timekeeper will be keeping an eye on that as we go back to the action on the far side. Haven't seen yet as much, Dale, as I would have liked to, and he was definitely a man to keep an eye on. The number 2 there, Camilo Castanella, on the ball as we speak. Now, I know that, of course, these 2 brothers, as to be expected, will know each other very, very well. Of course, having played so often together also in the Argentine Open, where I believe they have already been put up to 9 goals. But as I say, so far that combination, and of course those 2 brothers playing for the first time together here on American soil here in the WPL, and of course that is a world first. As Camilo tries to send that one down the field, it's still running, but it just goes wide. So are we seeing little hints of frustration here coming from Richard Mille, very composed and very together the way Casablanca are playing, not at all phased in any kind of way by the power that is Richard Mille. And I think the score reflects that. 5 goals to 2. So far, no score in chukker number 2. But Casablanca shutting down any kind of what looks like an offensive play from Richard Mille very early. Ganzi, they couldn't quite reach that one. It's picked up and turned by Camilo. Camilo will be looking to send it up to the front door. He has, and he's found Pablo McDonough. McDonough will pick this one up, makes no mistake. Precision once again. Goal number 3 for the 10-goaler, but the assist coming from Camilo Castagnolo. And that is what I enjoy so much here, is this very fast one-touch polo and the precision of the passes. Knowing where your teammate's going to be, into the run they shoot these balls. Your man is there, he takes one shot, and the ball's in the back of the net.
Yeah, players on the move all the time, Jan, as the ball will be moving. Actually, players moving before the ball gets hit, playing each other for the hit. It's fun pole to watch as they get moving. On the bowling here is stolen, made by actually won by Casablanca, but stolen away by Camilo. Now the give and go from Pablo back to Camilo, near side next shot. And that's not an easy attempt right there on the bouncing ball, but Camilo gets a piece of it and hits it over the airline, so they'll regroup here. And now it looks like Richard Mill with the offensive strike here in the second chukker as we click down, and it's going to be Ilario. So we look at the clock one more time, and we're 2:23 now. Ilario with Andrade on a fresh pony. Just jumped on the gray pony, so you might as well find him, and he's going to pick up Andrade quickly here. Rodrigo under the neck with it. Barto's going to come up and help out a little bit. Now the two Casanola boys playing defense here as Ganzi rotates around and goes to Ganzi. So the Ganzi's battling it out, and Pablo and Bellini, and now it gets stolen away by Ulloa, and he's going to give it back to Andrade. Rodrigo into the corner, still trying to regroup here, Casablanca. Can't get it out of their defensive half. Now they do. Bellini with now Casanola, and we're seeing true four-man rotation here in this Wellington final. Take inside. Ganzi's going to leave it for Andrade. This might work. Andrade tries to get by Casanola. He'll make the hook, the neutral play. Back to Rodrigo. Rodrigo trying to get it through there. Picked up now. Mishit here by Camilo Casanola. It's going to get taken in by Ulloa. Once, twice, Ilario still has control inside the red zone. Ilario backed up, and great defense here by Richard Mill, and a whistle on the play to stop the clock as we click down here. Almost 1 minute with 1:07 on the clock.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say we are seeing a much different and a much more together Richard Mill coming out here into this second chukker. A little bit of a wobbler there for Casablanca as they were playing a little bit of power play there. So all of a sudden, Richard Mill turning out to be the force we expected them to be. And after probably Casablanca coming out on a high, Richard Mill coming back very, very strong. And I'm just being told, Hilario Ulloa making a very quick penalty to conversion there. Hilario Ulloa getting the first. So Casablanca will be happy having received another goal, making it back to that 3-goal advantage, 6-3. But they've got to watch out here because Richard Mill, they seem to be finding their rhythm a lot quicker here in chukker number 2. Now remember, of course, adrenaline we running very, very high within both teams. Well, they didn't get a chance to throw the ball into play. You can see a little bit of disbelief by some of the players. But that is the time, that is the call, and that means the end of chukker number 2. 6-3 after that very quick conversion just a few moments ago by Hilario Ulloa. We'll be back in a few moments after these messages brought to you, of course, by ChukkerTV.
Well, yeah, and we got some great fans in the stands today. We can see them around here. Look at them. What a great time. Some great energy here at the Grand Champions Polo Club.
Yeah, always a pleasure, of course. And also, what a beautiful day. Now, we had, excuse me, a bit of a dip in the temperatures, but Florida, especially South Florida, coming back out on this finals day, showing the sunny side of polo. It's not super, super hot. Temperature's supposed to soar again later in the week, and I'm sure the players will be appreciating the conditions. It's still relatively early on a Sunday morning, not over hot, but let's look at that game. Casablanca had a little bit of a wobble there in the second chukker, managed to regroup, and so far only the two 10-goalers are having scored, and of course Juancito Bellini, he's got 3 to his name. Pablo McDonough now also with 3 goals in this game. Very, very difficult to tell here who's got the slight upper hand. So far it's very, very open, and Richard Mille, of course, still wanting to try and catch up. Now a 3-goal deficit. Casablanca leading going into chukker number 3 with 6 goals to 3 as they come back on fresh ponies. Ball's back in play, and I think we had the first whistle, a very early whistle here in chukker number 3. But apart from that, there has to be said, I think it's been a very fair and open game. Not really much to write home about as far as unnecessary aggressive play is concerned. And that is what's so nice about the WPL. Open, fast, and above all, fair polo.
We're going to take this one down. We're going to get our first penalty shot of the day for Richard Mille. And it looks like it's going to be an open goal penalty. Now they mix it up here, of course, all the players on the field. Sometimes the Cobra takes the open goals, but looks like they're going to go and pass the stick here to Camilo Casanola, 7-goal player. Camilo. And that one's a penalty 3. As you notice, they may defend the penalty 3, and the player defending may not enter the field until the ball is hit. Now, just a few procedural plans. What happens there is they do allow the horse's head to enter the field. The horse's feet cannot enter, because you can check that out as you see them running across there. Big timing play. So they're going to pick one up here early in the third chukker. That's what they needed. Now on the bowling is going to be a Rodrigo Andrade, and he's so strong on the bowlings. Picks this one up to keep it to himself. Andrade mounted up here, going to run by one player. Now it goes back to the center. Oh, bad luck, as that one goes off the pony there. But Barto, looking at his pony, says no problem. They're going to keep on playing. Back to Andrade, trying to take it to the inside. Little back shot from McDonough. Picked up again by Ulloa. Alario working it in. Gets stolen away there by Camilo. And Richard Mille with the defensive battle inside the 60. Ganzi's going to come out. Put the pressure on Andrade, and that ball will go just wide to the left. And this is a great defensive stand here by Richard Mille.
It is indeed, and luckily also good to see that, and he's about to take the ball after that cut shot there on Barto Castagnola. Player is okay. I thought it hit the player, but it did hit the pony, but she seems to be okay as Barto looking for brother Camilo, and for the first time they come on our side, Dale. Camilo waiting to take the pass. He gets the call from the front, but Grant Ganzi will steal it. Straight away, in comes Barto again. Juancito won't get to it, but Andrade will have a crack at this. He's got it. Richard Mille having to send all their defenders back down the field again. It is Rodrigo Andrade. Andrade beaten by Castagnola. Camilo. He's going to have to run this one himself. Camilo, as Casablanca now are caught on their back foot. Camilo around the outside he goes. A little bit deep and a bit too far right. Will he go for the under the next shot? Here it comes. Oh, he's...
line to plug into this thing? That speaker ate that battery up.
That battery was full. That was 100% full.
It ate that battery up, the bigger.
Oh, well.
Plug we plug into? Okay, we'll find out.
Henry Porter. I'm playing with Alegria. I think the WPL is, great level of polo. 26 goal. You're playing against some of the best players in the world, or most of the best players in the world. All playing the open, fresh out of the open, and you're going in great fields, playing really quick and good polo. It's great to improve and play against good players. It's the best. You gotta play really, really good. You got to have good depth of forces as well. I mean, these guys are super mounted, they play super well, and they're behind, with some really big organisations. So for us to beat them, it's a big challenge, and we're up for that challenge. So Matthias and I have played a lot together in the past 4 or 5 years. We've been playing, all over the world together, especially here and in Argentina. So him and I have really good chemistry. And Nachi and I, we haven't played much together. This is our first season playing together. So we're pretty new playing together. But with Freddie, I've played with Freddie a few times before. So I just know the motion really works on the team. We sort of managed to start playing a really open game, hitting it and running, and it's starting to work. So I've got to say, Florida is one of my favourite places to play. I love the weather, just everything about Wellington especially is just, I don't know what it is, but it's special. And the polo, the fields are incredible, the community and the social life around the sport here in Wellington is just amazing. I don't think anywhere else in the world can beat it. My name's Henry Porter and you're watching ChukkerTV.
Adolfo Cambiaso, playing for Valiente. I think we play well. I think we play really well as a teammates, and for them it was the first game for Hilario because unluckily Juanma couldn't play. Unfortunately, well, I think they will get better soon. I think we played really well, and in the end we were a bit lucky. That's all. Now is celebrate the semi-finals and tomorrow think about the finals. The strategy, I don't know. It's a team that we know a lot, but in the end of the day, we are happy to be there. My goals is just very happy that the Gansis and Boucher Navas did this amazing job with the World Cup, and the goal is to help them to make this getting better and better and grow, and I think it's happening. And the idea is with Bob that me the opportunity to play with my son is a goal already, so I'm having a great fun, and playing with my son is kind of it's a great moment that I'm passing through. So happy, winning or losing, just being in the field with my son and Bob it's great for me. Really, just I face my own team. I mean, I always think on my own team to make my team work, and in the end of the day, it's about who plays better. But there is some really good teams like Audi, which the two Castañuelas and Pablo McDonough. Well, this team is amazing. I mean, Juancito Bolin is playing amazing, and unluckily Grant couldn't play. But well, again, I think the goal is the World Polo League get better and better. That's the main idea. Well, the best thing is we have great fields. We have a lot of fields, and then in the end of the day, the sponsors choose whoever they play with. They don't need any nationality. I think it's unique to play with whoever you want to play with. I think that's something really, really amazing. Similar to Argentina, you make a team. It doesn't matter if you are Brazilian, if you are Argentine, or English, or American, or any country. So the idea of the World Polo League is to invite everybody, to welcome everybody, and I think that's happening. I'm Adolfo Cambiaso, and you're watching ChukkerTV.
All right, so 8-5 here at our halftime show. And one thing, we had both challenges. Both teams did use their challenge in the first half. And so we are back to no challenges for the second half. And, well, they're keeping the lead here, 8-5.
Not only are they keeping the lead, but Casablanca at the moment seem to just want it that little bit more. Remember, they came in with a 2-goal advantage. They very quickly scored that third goal to give them that cushion. Richard Mille came back for the briefest of moments, but Casablanca still going into the second half with a nice cushion of 3 goals. Now, if they can keep this strategy, which seems to be working for them, up throughout the end of the game, then I think they'll be very happy to win the Wellington Open Cup. So let's have to wait and see. I'm sure Richard Mille will come out strong again in the second half, but I think it's going to go to the wire, Dale.
You were mentioning about that 2 goals that you didn't think it was that big earlier on. Now look what's going on. I'm telling you, you got to be careful with these teams at 26 goals, 25 goals. You give them 2 goals, 3 goals. That's a lot of goals in this type of polo because you said as the teams are so well balanced across the board this year. And we've done a lot of interviews with a lot of the players, and they talked a lot about how balanced the teams were. You got to prepare yourself for every team that you go up against this year in the World Polo League.
Quite right, quite right. And of course, now we're seeing the proof in that, exactly as you were saying. Richard Mille, they're going to have to regroup a little bit. They're going to have to maybe tighten 1 or 2 little things, maybe back in defense as well, because Casablanca, and we've seen it so many times, once they get the ball, as you would say, they're running and gunning it, and they get rewarded. And Richard Mille need to just be a little bit firmer, maybe shut them down a little bit earlier. But like I say, I think we haven't seen the end of this game yet, and I'm pretty sure the Castagnola brothers, once they get their mojo going, and it's good to see that in that second half, especially in chukker number 2 and 3, Camillo and Barto combining, playing a lot stronger together, and that's something which, of course, Casablanca are going to have to keep an eye on, because once these guys get their mojo going, I don't want to say it's game over, but it's going to be a different game, absolutely.
You know, they use the Cobra a little bit more there in the third chukker. I agree with that. I think you should get him pulling the team. There are actually opportunities where you could have used the Cobra a little bit earlier, but they used him on the play where the Casablanca team challenged. So they put the pressure out there. School of Memo Garcia, Carlos Casita, they'll tell you a lot of times just hit the ball down as deep as you can, apply the pressure, and watch and see if the other team makes a mistake. Sometimes you got to lead your offensive attack that way, Jan, so you got to go at it. Don't worry about those little short passes and controlling every ball, but apply the pressure, line up for the defensive side after you do get it down inside the 60, see what happens, and it's been good here for Richard Mille, so see if they can keep the energy up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. When they come back out, I'm sure Mark will have had a few words, and I'm sure they will have been tightened up. They will know where the mistakes are. They will know where they need to just improve a little bit. And as I say, I mean, at this level, Dale, 3 goals, that really isn't much to write home about. Casablanca, as I said, they had a little bit of a wobbler in chukker number 2. Managed to very quickly refocus on what their strategy is, and I'm sure Juan Martinero will be giving them some solid advice from the sidelines. But like I say, this is far from over, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see a very strong Richard Mille coming in for the second half.
Well, I got to point out we're standing right here at the Coco Cabana, and it is beautiful. Gansey, well, young Gansey, Grand Gansey, got his whole crew up here cheering them on, and this is going to be spectacular here at 4 o'clock, Jan. I'll come back to check it out, as it looks like they're hammering the balls at us, so that means get off the field, I guess they're telling us. We're going to go ahead and get to our spots over here, as, of course, the VIP will be thriving here for the finals today of the Founders Cup, so make sure you come out, join yourself, have a great time here. There'll be so many festivities going on. Of course, we have John Payne, the one-armed bandit, in town. Man, and if you saw ChukkerTV this summer, well, you know who the one-armed bandit is. John Payne, Oklahoma Cowboy. Unbelievable. He is a fun man, and he's going to be here. So you need to come out and check that out. Here we go, second half action, and we'll see who gets going here early as Ulloa and Pablo McDonough come together. And Ulloa's going to go ahead and take a full swing here. That mallet is going to go up underneath. Now, those 2 players are overlapped on that play. When 2 players are overlapped, you got to be careful of the mallet follow-through. So no injury on the play, but the mallet did follow through and made contact with the number 3 in white. So they'll go ahead and drop that ball for a penalty 5, and I like this call. Here comes Barto Castagnola.
Castagnola taps the ball over the halfway line. The first man there to try and challenge him, but he won't get much of a chance, was Bellini. Hard bump and a ride off there at the front door. Barto looking to feed it to brother Camillo, but he had a man on. In came the Cobra. He tried to finish it with a cut shot, just put it wide. So Casablanca once again in possession. 6.5 minutes to play. They still have that 3-goal advantage, and there's the run as they very quickly open up. Oh, he slightly overcooked that a little bit. The 10-goaler there, Hilario Ulloa. Nice little idea along the sideboards, intended there for Rodrigo Andrade and Barto Castagnola, making the best of that situation. Lets the 10-goaler just run by him. Turns it around. He's got Camillo at the front. And also coming in now is the 10-goaler, Pablo McDonough. Nicely taken as Camilo takes or makes space here for a clear run to goal. Pablo McDonough, goal number 4 for the 10 goal and the first of this second half. And by that, they reduce it back to those 2 goals, Dale. But now, can they maybe for once in this game now maybe get a very quick second goal to bring it in within 1 goal of Casablanca, who are still in the lead by 8 goals to 6.
The perfect power polo play, Jan. You know I was going to say that. And that was flying right there. It's Casanova trying to hit it to his brother, but just an unselfish polo play by Camilo and leaving it for the 10-goaler. Now it's going to be Camilo to get this one out of the bowling inside the 60. Next shot coming. That ball has eyes as it rolls just through the left side there. And look at this. Richard Mill coming out of the tent, out of the locker room, and have it dialed in. As you said, Jan, you figured the Cobra would get him dialed in. We've got him dialed in here early. And this is the ball game now. What a match we have going on here at the Grand Champions Polo Club, field number 1.
And not only that, they often talk about the commentator's curse, but in this case it's the commentator's prediction, and they got that very quick second goal, which has brought them within 1 goal for the first time in this game. They are now just trailing by 1. If we look at the way they came in at the end of the first, Chucker was 5 goals to 2. At the end of the second, 6 goals to 3, 8 goals to 5 at the end of Chucker number 3. And so far, it's Richard Mill with 2 quick goals, 1 from Camilo, 1 from Pablo McDonough, bringing them within 1 goal of Casablanca, 8 goals to 7. And they've been awarded a hit from the spot, about 1.5 yards adjacent to the halfway line. 19 goals combined there, just working out what play they're going to play. It's going to be tapped in by Rodrigo Andrade. Ujo will steal in, tucking right behind him. Camilo coming in for an early challenge. Little lofted shot looking for brother Barto. Clever play here from the Castagnolas as he sends it back up to the front. Looking for Pablo McDonough, who takes a shot to goal. Well, had that gone in, Dale, it would have been 3 little shots, 3 taps on that play, and they crossed the entire half of the field. Wasn't much in it there. Richard Mill combining very well now at this level of the game, of course, with 4 minutes left to play in Chucker number 4. Looking now for a very quick equaliser to put the pressure on Casablanca even more. Casablanca have it, though. Bellini going up, waiting for that ball to come. He's going to tee it up a little bit nicer. Hilario Ojoa, you can see he wants to unload a long one. Bellini's at the front door. Andrade will tuck in behind. Here comes that drive. Looking for Bellini. Might even go itself. Oh, there wasn't much in it. Close. Well, it was definitely worth the effort. Obviously, Richard Miller marking up well. They had an eye on Bellini. And I think that was the intended play. So 3-17, 8 goals to 7. Richard Mill have it.
On the ball knocking is going to be Pablo. Little change here. There are a few players changing ponies, jumping on some fresh legs. As I said, they'll be using that time. We have the Cobra on the move. Ganzi's got to stay on the near side there. Beautiful pickup. He'll keep this one going. Nice pick. Another second shot. This ball just outside the 60. The approach shot. No, the shot on goal. And the high flag and a true coast-to-coast like butter and toast as Pablo McDonough will start it off with a perfect knock-in. Find the Cobra on the move. A sweet little play by the Cobra to take his first ball on the near side. That got him loose. And then an amazing approach shot. Actually, shot on goal from about the 50, 60-yard line. So a spectacular goal there by the number 1 for Richard Mill.
And not only that, Dale, that makes it 3 in a row, and that makes it 8 goals apiece on the scoreboard. Now the pressure's really on as Hilario Ujoa, well, you can see he's on a mission. Camilo will stop him. There's an appeal. He's saying he came across my line. And I think the umpires will have heard that and seen that call. But look how quickly Hilario Ujoa was out there wanting to restore a little bit of a lead. Conceding 3 very quick goals. 1 by the Cobra, 1 by Camilo, and 1, of course, by Pablo McDonough. Making it 8 goals apiece. And a chance here now for Casablanca after that right-of-way infringement to restore at least a little bit of a cushion by 1 goal.
Camilo trying to steal that one away. playing that Ulloa went to the check. Now remember, if a player is on a right-of-way violation, actually impeding the right-of-way in a way, and the player decides to check, he's okay there. So it's the case when there's a clean right-of-way. Open goal, penalty 2 is going to be Juancito Bellini. No problem for Bellini. But that's why you're getting a whistle there, as there was a bit of a right-of-way violation before the check from Ulloa. Camilo decided to ride it out, see if he can get away with it. Open goal, penalty 2. That'll stop the river from flowing and make it 9-8 as we click down here, under 2 minutes. And back to the center we will go. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and get a unsportsmanlike conduct here by one of the white team. And, of course, they will adjust the ball here in the World Polo League if there's any unsportsmanlike conduct. Any verbal appeals that might be a little bit too outrageous for the umpires, or something they didn't like was said, they will move the ball. They'll drop the ball at the next line. And, of course, we had an open goal penalty 2 down there. They would have missed the 2. They would have got another attempt. If not, they bring it back to center, and we have a penalty 5, and it'll be Andrade. And he's going to get him moving forward here. Now, Ganzi, Mark's going to rotate to the number 4 position. He's going to back that one up across the field looking for a white jersey. Camilo Barto, and he's going to change the field here, and this is going to work well as Camilo, his brother, and Ganzi going forward. Camilo gets a piece of it. Pablo fills the gap, and now we have the white team flying down here. They all come running in there. Mallets in the air. I like the non-call as everybody was bending to the right there. Now it's going to be Camilo, backed up again by Andrade. It'll be Casanola once again. Stolen away and whistled up inside the 60-yard line, and they'll stop the action now with 1:09 on the clock.
Well, it definitely is a very, very thrilling final here this afternoon. Welcome to you all as you've just joined us. Of course, we're live here at Grand Champions Polo Club, coming to you via ChukkerTV, of course. Great to have you with us. It is 9-8 for Casablanca after Richard Mille having come back with 3 chukkers. I beg your pardon, with 3 goals in this chukker. And another penalty in favour for Richard Mille. It'll be taken by Camilo Castagnola. A penalty 3, 40 yards. Look at the back line. Well, he sends it high in the sky, and Camilo Castagnola, making no mistake, getting his 2nd of this chukker, his 3rd overall, and that puts them level again, and 9 apiece. Who is going to go into double figures first? We're down to the last, or just under the last minute of play in chukker number 4. And as Dale was saying a little bit earlier on, of course, make sure you tune in this afternoon, 4 o'clock Florida time, to watch the final of the Founders Cup. The one-arm bandit, pro rodeo entertainer, 15 years in a row now. Delighted to have him all the way from Oklahoma down here in Florida here at Grand Champions. He's going to be entertaining you also very much after the game. We've also got the parachuters coming in again, jumping down and onto the field. There is the horn, the first siren, and that will go over the back lines. That will be all they wrote in chukker number 4, 9 apiece. And as we predicted, it's going to go down to the wire. Make sure you join us in just a few moments after these messages, brought to you, of course, by ChukkerTV.
Fibonacci trying to go coast to coast with the butter and the toast.
There it is, the Cobra Strike. Those once, twice, 3 times out of the air.
All right, welcome back here. I guess I spoke too quick. Casablanca had the lead there, and then bang, and that's how quick it can happen here in this 26-goal polo.
Yeah, no surprise. We spoke about it in the halftime challenge, or in the halftime break, and I thought as much. Richard Mille coming back very, very strong. They will have had some stern words from their coach and their captain, and 4 goals in 1 chukker. Casablanca all of a sudden need to just be aware of the fact that Richard Mille are going to get stronger and stronger and stronger, and they still have a little bit of unfinished business to take care of. Of course, they want to win this. Dale, the players are back out on the field. Let's just make sure we don't get tangled in here. So 9 apiece. Welcome back, everybody. Joining us, of course, on ChukkerTV, and those of you here live field side. All to play for as the team in white, Richard Mille with the 10-goaler. Just gets beaten there. Casablanca now need to really pull up their socks and make sure they don't make any mistakes in defence here. It was a challenge coming down the line from Ulloa. And I think Barto Castagnola there conceding and realising he made a bit of a mistake, just having a word there with his brother, Camilo. So Casablanca, just the kind of start they wanted, coming into this 5th chukker with a penalty 4.
Yeah, too close for comfort there on that turn to the right as he running the turn, but Ulloa right there. And this is going to be a huge move as they had Bellini all by himself downfield. So even though it is on the turn where a player does have a control that ball, white jerseys, with a man downfield, they need to move that down. And they're not going to give the open goal for sure, as they do not have possession of the ball. The white team had possession on the turn, but he does get caught on the right-of-way violation. He turns across the right. So they'll move it down to the 60-yard mark. Penalty 4. And, 9-9 here. 6:34 on the clock. It looks like it's going to be Ulloa to do the honors here for Casablanca.
Taking a very, very long run up. A couple of swings just to make sure. Ulloa, he got underneath it, no mistake, and the 10-goaler makes it 10-9. Hilario Ulloa putting his team Casablanca back in the lead. But how long will that last? Because Richard Mille, as I said, in that previous chukker, scoring 4 times. The Cobra once, Camilo Castagnola twice, and Pablo McDonough once. Juancito Bellini only with the 1 score for Casablanca. And that also was the first time they drew level. They scored twice each in chukker number 3. And in chukker number 4, that chukker very much won by Richard Mille. Here we go then. Ball's thrown back into play. Picked up on the far side. Casablanca have it. Comes off the sideboards. Just took his time. As Camilo will stop and turn. He has a little look up. The Cobra scoring that cracking goal a few moments ago with a cut shot to goal. Just puts that one wide. And that would have been the equaliser right there and then from Richard Mille. Casablanca deep in their own half. Oh, he's taking care of one player. Number 4 here, Rodrigo Andrade. Right underneath the speaker's tower. McDonough steals it. Sends it back up. It's a little bit short for Camilo. Pablo McDonough will have to have another crack at this. In comes Grant Ganzi. Well, he's done enough. Good defensive play there, and that gives a chance for Casablanca to turn. Just holds back a moment or two to allow his attacking players. Again, Juancito Bellini making himself available. Completely left unmarked now. Also, Grant Ganzi crossing the halfway line. Andrade. He knows he's got a man on. Surrounded there by white shirts. He's going to leave it for Ulloa. Now, Ulloa would like to get into a position where he could take a shot. Still Ulloa, Andrade, Camilo. He will be a nuisance all day long, and he has, as they just get it only narrowly over the halfway line. Another nice little pass from McDonough. McDonough on the near side, up against the 9-goaler. Andrade. Out of nowhere comes Bartol Castagnola. Making no mistake and getting also his first of this final. That now means that every player at Richard Mille has scored, and there you have the two double figures. 20 goals on the scoreboard, 10 apiece.
And that's just an amazing read there by Bartol Castagnola, just reading the play perfect, filling the gap. And look at this. Richard Mille's going to take advantage of this, and that's going to put all of the black players off sides, so they cannot even make a play here. If they make a play, it's just going to be an open goal penalty too. There's the play right there. We're going to let them go, but every one of them is off sides at the moment. And there's your whistle. So all players are offside on that play, and that's a no-no by the Casablanca team. You got to send one player back because, one, all four players are changing horses and are on the wrong side of the bowling, and that's the bad part of this. They're on the wrong side of the bowling as Richard Mille scored in the south goal. Then they come back. Of course, they switch directions, so that makes the Richard Mille going towards the north goal. All players with black jerseys went to change ponies in the south goal. Never made him back for the bowling. That means that every one of them is offsides, and that's going to give the open goal penalty 2 here to Casablanca. Anytime they make a play when they're offsides, that's when they blow the whistle. Camilo Castagnola is going to go ahead and fire that one right through there and get the lead. So we talked a lot about this with the Scone team on this play. They used David Paradise to come back as the three generals actually change ponies a lot. You see a lot of it. You're going to see a lot in the finals today, as they do cover that very well.
Absolutely, and that was a bit of a silly mistake there by Casablanca. Now remember, we did talk about this since the All-Star Challenge. No official courtesy change, so it's at the peril and, of course, at the risk if the players want to go and change ponies. But they were really caught snoozing on that one. And for the first time in this final, the Whites, Richard Mille, find themselves in the lead, but maybe that is short-lived as Rodrigo Andrade just bulldozes through those white defenders on the near side. Had to lean far out of the saddle. Gets a bump there from Bartol Castagnola. Ball is still in the danger zone, but it'll be the 10-goaler who will take care of business. Here we go then. Pablo McDonough. He's going to have to run this one himself. The two 10-goalers now coming at each other. Hilario Ulloa, he'll be the man to challenge him. Nicely taken around the outside, but has he got the speed on that pony? On the near side. Ever so close. But what a cracking run. Literally, as you would say, coast to coast, Dale.
Wow, that was really sweet also. Just great watching Pablo McDonough, the ambassador of Richard Mille, just taking it down there. He's so much poetry and motion, this guy. And then how he checks a little bit to bring Ulloa towards him, then had the speed to get around him, but just off to the right. And so they go and set this one up. And Casablanca looking to gather one here with 1:55 on the clock.
Now remember, of course, that ambassador you just spoke about from Richard Mille, McDonough. We will have a foot mallet, a signed, limited edition, of course. There's only one of them, polo foot mallet. That'll be awarded at the final this afternoon. Hope you've been following our social media feeds on Twitter, of course, on Instagram, on Facebook, ChukkerTV. As I say, we have a signed foot mallet signed by the 10-goaler Pablo McDonough, which we will be giving away as a prize. Remember, just follow the social media feed online, and then the winner will be announced this afternoon. So a whistle, a little bit of a disarray going on out on the field, but a penalty 5B being awarded in favour of Casablanca, who, as I say, for the first time in this game, it took, 5 chuckers nearly for Richard Mille to get the upper hand. Play is called. Hilario Ulloa, as Andrade will take away or try and clear the way by taking out of play there Camilo Castagnola. He wants to get closer now. We know he can send a long ball up the field. Andrade, McDonough, Andrade. Now he's very, very strong. Andrade opens up his shoulders, takes a shot. Puts it wide, Dale. Puts it wide. A wasted opportunity there.
Yeah, huge shot there by Andrade, but that's going to go into the houses there behind field one and just didn't get the shot he wanted off to the right side. So with a minute clicking down here, Richard Mille in the white jersey will regroup. It's going to be Barto Casanola. Barto. Outlet pass, looking for Pablo. A little light stolen away here by Ulloa. The ride-off by Camilo. Now the shot by Ulloa. Oh, off the post as Ulloa. And great timing there. I know Ulloa doesn't like this, but that was perfect timing on that ride-off by Camilo Casanola. There was malice in the air by the Casablanca team, but a clean ride-off, knee to knee, same relative speed. Perfect timing. And it'll be another knock in here for Casanola. We're going to hear our 30-second horn. So 30 seconds left here in this fifth chukker of play. Pablo trying to break loose. Nice neutral play there. Camilo, and he's got Pablo on the move. 15 seconds on the clock. Number 3 on his way. There's the approach shot inside the 60. Looking for it. Pablo once, twice, 3 times, my lady, in the high flag. As Pablo with 5 seconds on the clock will seal the deal here and get his Richard Mille team up by 2 goals as we prepare for the 6th chukker. You don't want to miss this one. We'll be right back after commercial break. This is the Wellington Cup final from the Grand Champions Polo Club Field 1, and we'll be right back for our 6th chukker of play. Here at the beautiful Grand Champions Polo Club. And Jan, Eric Frank, well, there goes your handicap.
Yeah, indeed it does. And great to see. But I did suggest this, Del, and we spoke about it at halftime. Richard Mille coming back very strong. They managed to somehow get a grip on that very, very strong Casablanca team. And if I look at the last 2 chukkers, well, they won them both. One 4-1, and one, the last one, 3-1. And that has now put them into the driving seat here with 2 goals in hand. It was 9 apiece at the end of chukker number 4, and now 12-10. So Casablanca now on the back foot. They need to come up with something special here. And maybe play the way they did in that first chukker, where they seemed to have stunned Richard Mille. And Richard Mille got, or rather Casablanca got a little bit unlucky, of course, with that ball hitting the post in that previous chukker. Now, all to play for. Who is going to lift that beautiful Wellington Open trophy? Of course, we will have the prize presentation right after the game. So do stick around for that. And let me just remind you, this afternoon, of course, at 4 o'clock, our second big final of the WPL Valiente, of course, having won the All-Star. And now Camilo Castagnola for Richard Mille to put the finishing touches here on what really has been a superb final. He slams on the brakes, takes a shot, and out of nowhere came Juancito Bellini. Oh, being a little bit cheeky there, wouldn't you say, Dale?
You're cheeky. That was cheeky. A little freaky, too. They came in there full speed. But actually, I mean, when you hit a next shot, but Casanola gets back to that ball so quickly, mounted up here so well. I mean, you can just see him, and he actually slammed on the brakes there to make sure there wasn't a collision. So that ball's inside the 60. You're going to have an open goal penalty here. And that's a great way to start off the sixth and final chukker. Keeping a rhythm. A great rhythm. Remember, all teams are out of challenges. So I know they might be wanting one, but they both use their challenges in the first half. And as you and I would say, Jan, we are second half challengers. That's just our way of being. Open goal, penalty 2, and it's going to be the Cobra. And he's going to go and step up here, and that's going to push him up within 3 goals now. Casablanca needs to make a run as Jan went through it. 5-2 after the first, 6-3. And as they go into the halftime, 8-5. And then, man, it's been all Richard Mille the second half.
It has indeed. Another whistle stop play. And a penalty 5B, and I think unnecessary back chat there coming from some of the players. So another technicality or a technical foul being given in favour of Richard Mille. So not only do they score, and for the first time they have a 3-goal cushion, they also win half the field and will start their offensive play with Barto Castagnola with a hit from the centre. McDonough is out to his left. As you would call it, a worm burner. We call them daisy cutters. Casablanca tried to run away with that one, but Camilo got there first. Now on the far side, the number 4, Rodrigo Andrade. Very strong player here this morning in this final. And that's a nice pass through the centre. Little backhand, didn't quite get the length on it as he would have hoped. As the 10-goaler once again for Casablanca. Hilario Ulloa going around the outside. Here comes the cut shot. He's looking for Ganzi. He's going to have to pick this one up on the near side. Oh, he tried to. A very difficult shot to take on the turn as well as Barto Castagnola for Richard Mille. Tries to secure it. Little fake backhander there from Andrade. Still on the ball. He's got a man on. Ganzi will tuck in behind. Still Andrade. Oh, he's done that very well and very elegantly. Rodrigo Andrade puts it through and gets an early goal. And a very important one there with 4:45 on the clock. We're in chukker number 6.
Yeah, we have a ball game here. A great match with 4:30 coming in here. So anybody's game up to this point, time management. And it looks like Pablo and they're going to use this to their benefit as Camilo's changing ponies right there. So Camilo's not going to make it back. Now he does. And it's won by Ulloa, but stolen away by Barto. Then backed up by Rodrigo. Camilo's going to rotate to the back of the squad here with the white jerseys. And now it's going to be Camilo Casanola, and he has room to work here. Casanola looking for the Cobra, and the Cobra all by himself on the far side. Nice pickup here. The Cobra tries to sneak by Andrade. I thought he was going to get by him there, but Andrade's going to win that little joust, and here they go down the far side. Will it stay on the field? Yes, it will, as Andrade keeps it moving. And now Pablo. McDonough will turn the defense into offense, stolen away by Ulloa. And now the sword fight. Turned back inside by Andrade. Left there by Andrade, back for Ulloa. A little race and rub is racing there. They're going to let that go. I like the non-call. Now it's going to be Ulloa working it in. Casablanca needs a goal right here. Inside the 60, a shot. And the high flag. And the Ganzi crew goes crazy up here at the Coco as they are one double G to pull it out here in a 1-goal difference, Jan. And we're going to click down to 3 minutes. This is going to be an exciting finish.
Yeah, what a nice comeback. Grant Ganzi there coming back and making his first goal of this final. Still plenty of time, still 3 goals in it. So nice to see that Casablanca are putting up a fight here, and they're not gonna walk away with without giving it a good crack at this. So they come back to the centre, 3:04. On average, that would mean a minute or a goal a minute. It is doable, but the way Richard Mille are playing at the moment, Dale, it's going to be a very, very tough nut to crack here. Very strong here with the number 2, Camilo Castagnola. Let's have a look how he's done so far. He's already scored 4. Pablo Madonna, of course, no surprise, 5. Mark Ganzi with 3. And Barto also Castagnola with 1. And over at the other side, also all 4 players having scored now, with Grant Ganzi making that score. 5 for Juancito Bellini, 3 for Hilario Ulloa, and 1 for Rodrigo Andrade. Here we go then, ball's thrown back into play, and this is now going to really be make or break. Very important to win those throw-ins, and that's a nice little backhander there from Bellini, looking for Ulloa. In comes the 10-goaler, Pablo McDonough. Camilo. Andrade steals it off him. Ganzi's in the front as well. Still Andrade. He's got one man to get past. Barto Castagnola. He wants to get a shot off onto goal. Camilo puts his oar in. Gives it back to the 10-goaler. McDonough. Big chance there for Casablanca. Andrade would have liked to have gotten that very, very important goal just to make it 2, the difference. But Richard Mille. Oh, that's a cheeky little play there, and he's done well. The 2 10-goalers, this time coming out on top for Casablanca. Hilario Ulloa. Ulloa wants to get a little bit closer before he takes a shot on goal. In comes the hammer, but he's left it behind for Andrade. Andrade's second attempt. Still Ulloa. Well, it looked to me like that one of those players from Richard Mille couldn't help himself, but tried everything he could, but he crossed the line, and this could be exactly what they need with a little less than 2 minutes left to play. Casablanca will get the penalty, Dale.
And the equalizer again. This will be an exciting finish. Woo! Man, these 2 teams are just going back and forth. And what a finish. They let them play in there for a while. I like the way they let that play all the way down the end, as they've been very consistent here in the WPL. On the nip and tuck plays, as we say, when the scrum starts to happen. But we will get a blocking call, and that's been called very consistent today on both sides of the field. So the easy tap in for Juancito Bellini, and again, the homeboys up here, the Coco Cabana, go crazy for the Casablanca team. As, of course, Bellini's little brother and Grant, all of his homeboys here today to watch them play here on the number 1 field. There you go, 13-13. We're going to click down to 1:30 left here. This is going to be an exciting finish. Everybody on fresh legs. Here we go. This ball's going to bounce off a pony. Ganzi. Camilo. Stolen away by Andrade as they let the scrum go, and I like it. And it's going to be Barto. Casanola. Oh, the boards work out well there for him as he popped that one up. He's going to sneak away right here. Barto now looking for the Cobra. They got him all by himself. Ganzi right in front. The putter, the next shot coming. The Cobra has striked again, and that's going to put him within 1 goal lead here as they click down under a minute. They will come back to the center. We will have another opportunity for Casablanca, but the Cobra putting a nail in the coffin here, and let's see if it stays or this Casablanca team's going to get one more run.
Well, it would be nice to see if they can, but they're running out of time. We're down to 40 seconds. Ball's thrown into play. They need to win the throw-in. They've got the throw-in. Andrade. He's got the 10-goaler. Hilario Ulloa behind him. Still Andrade, but he's got to keep an eye on the time. Less than half a minute left to play. Barto comes in and steals it, but stolen back again by Hilario. Hilario with an under-the-neck shot to goal. Looking also for a Ganzi. It'll be Grant. Oh, and a whistle. Rodrigo. It looks like Rodrigo might have been fouled on that play. We'll have to wait and see what the umpires make of this, but this could go in favor of Casablanca.
Wow, 13 seconds on the clock. You called it, yeah. Casablanca needed to win the bowl-in. It was so important. This one's going to go against Casablanca, though. Rodrigo wants an explanation. He's getting it as they talk to the umpires right there. They did have a cluster down in front. They're going to call this against Casablanca, which will give control of the dead ball play to Barto Casanola. Barto's going to crush one here and get the clock moving. They still have time. Ganzi can run away with this one. Mark gets this one moving. And a whistle on the play, and that'll stop the clock once again with 5 seconds on the clock. So we've seen it done before. From center field in, you can finish the play within 5 seconds, but you need to have a huge shot and not very high. It needs to be a low burner. That way you still have opportunity to make the second shot, or you need to make it from center. And this one's going to be about a 170-yard shot on a one-timer.
Well, let's see. They got 5 seconds. It needs to be, well, as you said, Dale, it needs to be hard. But is the clock running out? There's a white shirt who gets to it. Well, it's game over. But what a thrilling game, Dale. I'm sure you'll agree with me. 14 goals to 10. It was literally right to the very end here. Congratulations. What a great performance. It took them 5 chukkers to get the upper hand. They did so, and it was all uphill from there on in for Richard Mille, winning the Wellington Open 2020 with 1 goal in it, 14 goals to 13. What an amazing final we've had. We will have the prize presentation in just a few moments. But as I say, what an absolute cracking game we've had here. The first of our doubleheader. Dale, always, of course, a pleasure doing this one with you. Well, I mean, we knew it was going to go right to the wire, and it did. But I think maybe also a little bit unfortunate there for Casablanca. They had a couple of misses, near misses. They hit the post once or twice. So, I mean, they're both worthy finalists. But, of course, at the end of the day, it's the number of goals that make the difference. And congratulations to Richard Mille.
Yeah, congratulations for sure for Richard Mille. And what a finish. I mean, it was Casablanca early. They took advantage of the 2-goal handicap. I gave them a lot of love for that. I was actually on their side. You kind of went the other way. You thought it was going to come back. Good call. You broke that one down very well, as they did. And a great job by the Casanola boys, of course. The duet, we've been talking a lot about them. Pablo did an awesome job captaining the team, and you got to give love to the Cobra. Huge finish there. 3 goals on the day, or 4 goals on the day. And not just 4 goals on the day, but more importantly, the difference in this game right at the end, because that was a huge play. And we did talk about it. They did come out and use the Cobra more in the second half. Yep. We thought that would help out. And then on the other side, though, we got to give it up. I mean, Ganzi and Bellini, they've done a fabulous job for the Casablanca team, representing the Casablanca brand very well, as Grant Ganzi being the ambassador. A lot of ambassadors out here today. Casablanca ambassador with Grant Ganzi, the Richard Mille ambassador with Pablo McDonough, of course, U.S. Polo SSN with Juancito Bellini. Yep. So great job there. And you know what, Ulloa, I enjoyed watching Ulloa and Andrade play this WPL together here, and we hope Juan Martin Nero gets better quickly.
Absolutely. No. Well, with those words, of course, we're going to give the players a chance to dismount, and we will have, of course, the prize presentation coming to you in just a few minutes. Now, remember, of course, this afternoon at 4 o'clock on the field just behind or in front of us now, field number 2, the second WPL final of the Founders Cup, and that's going to be a cracking game, Dale. Cambiasso against Sayudan Tata. Any early predictions from you?
No, I'm not going to get involved in this one. I think you're going to see a team play their style, open style. They're going to live and die by it, SD. But you know Adolfo, he's going to have a game plan for it. So you want to make sure you check that out. For Jan, Eric, Frank, I'm Dale Schwetz, and I speak for the whole ChukkerTV family when I say thank you for making us leaders of polo broadcasting. And, of course, when you see a 26-goal game like this in the World Polo League, you understand why we always say at ChukkerTV, we love the polo.